Okay, so this is 3.4 parallel and perpendicular lines. So you have now learned how to write equations of lines. If we have the slope or an equation of a line, we can find a line that is parallel or perpendicular. Okay, so let's actually go through what that means. So parallel lines never cross. So this means the lines have the same slope. Okay, so if the slope for one of the lines is 3, the slope for the parallel line is also 3. Perpendicular lines, right, and hopefully this is kind of review from geometry. Perpendicular lines intersect at a 90-degree angle. So the slopes are what we call opposite reciprocals. And so what that means, reciprocals. So what that means is flipped and opposite sign. Okay, so just an example, so in parallel lines, let's say the slope of line 1 is 2/3. That means the slope of line 2 is also 2/3. Let's say the slope of line 1 is 2/3. If you're trying to find the perpendicular line, you have to flip it and you change the sign. So since the first one was positive, this would be negative. So if you notice, they are what we call opposite reciprocals of each other. Okay? So let's actually practice. We're going to practice finding a parallel line, and then we're going to practice finding a perpendicular line. Okay? So let's say we're trying to find a parallel line. So this is the first example. Parallel line that goes through -2 or 4 and is parallel to y equals 7/2x minus 5. Okay? So since we're talking about parallel, that means that they have the same slope, right? So this slope is 7/2, which means the slope is going to stay as 7/2. So I can write the equation. I don't know what b is, but I know the slope is going to be 7/2. So I have this equation, y equals 7/2x plus b. Now we need to find the b, and we know that it goes through this point. So you should know this. We are going to now plug in this point, right? This is my x, this is my y, to find my b, right? And this is review now. So I'm going to plug in the points, right? My x and the y. And you should get -7 here. And then if I add 7 on both sides, I'm going to get b equals 7. So the parallel line would be y equals 7/2x plus 7, right? So the slope stays the same, but you're going to have a different b value. And we solve that by plugging in the point. let's say we're given a graph, okay? So we're given this graph and it's asking us to graph a line that is perpendicular, okay? So perpendicular, that means opposite reciprocals, okay? So we need to first find the slope of the original line that's given to us. So I'm going to identify 2 points that are easy to read. So here's one point, and then here's another point. And remember, slope, especially if we're looking at a graph, is change in y over change in x. So change in y, that means am I going up or down? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this was plus 9. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So plus 6. So it was 9 over 6. And so, again, if you do 9 divided by 6 in your calculator and hit math, enter, you'll get the reduced fraction of 3 over 2. So the original slope was 3 over 2. That means my new slope is going to be, you have to flip it and change the sign. So in this case, it's positive. It's going to be negative. Okay, so we are going to graph any perpendicular line, right? There are so many options. And I'm just going to erase this just to help us, right? It could be over here. It could be over here. It could be over here. Don't draw these, but I'm telling you that there are lots of options. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pick a point. It doesn't matter. I'm going to choose this point right here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my slope to create new points. So what negative 2 over 3 means is I'm going down 2, right? Because it's change in y, so it's down 2, and to the right 3. So I'm going down 2 and over 3. Down 2 over 3. And if you notice, I can now use a straight edge. I don't have a straight edge. I'm just going to graph. You'll see that I have my perpendicular line because it does create that 90-degree angle. Okay, so try these questions and then let us know if you need help.